The life in the hereafter. What does the Quran say? Translation of Jahan Ifada by Jaz Rasul. Ghulam Ahmad, Parwez, 1969. 11. Sawab, reward, and Najat, salvation. We commonly use the term sawab as being the opposite of azab. The meaning of the former is reward for doing good, while the latter is punishment for sins. The term sawab in Arabic is taken from the root swb, and its basic meaning is to get something back. For example, sab al-ma means whatever quantity of water is removed, the exact amount is replaced. Similarly, sab jismohu means that after illness the body recovers fully to its original healthy state. That is, that whatever energy was depleted has been replenished. Whatever action you take in life, you have to spend something. Even if money is not spent, your time and energy will be expended. If the task is done according to a procedure, then whatever you have spent, you will get it back. This is called your action's sawab. In business language, this is known as a return, and according to the law of requital, its meaning is the natural consequence of human action. This is why this word has been used in the Quran in places as a term for describing recompense for deeds. Will not the unbelievers have been paid back for what they did? 83:36. See also 2, 103, 3, 153, 5, 60. We have seen that the results of human deeds manifest in this life as well as in the life to come. In this life, righteous conduct leads to a life which is good and prosperous, successful, lofty, wealthy, with enhanced choices, provides government and power. The deeds which affect the human self, their consequences will appear in the next life. In this regard, two terms have been quoted in the Quran: sawab al-dunya, recompense in this life, and sawab al-akhirat, recompense in the hereafter. This means that if we wish to see whether whatever we are doing is bearing good results, work of sawab, or not, then for this we need to see if the good result of these deeds is manifesting in this life or not. This concept of sawab is not just an abstract idea or belief, but should materialize into concrete results for all to see, including us. For example, in Surah Al-Imran it is stated, if any do desire a reward, sawab, in this life we shall give it to him. And if any do desire a reward, sawab, in the hereafter, we shall give it to him. 3, 145. It does not mean that those who desire sawab in the hereafter will not get any sawab in the worldly life. Those desiring and working for sawab in the hereafter will get it in this life as well. If anyone desires a reward, sawab, in this life, in Allah's gift, is the reward, sawab in both, of this life and of the hereafter. For Allah is He that hears and sees all things. 4, 134. This means that those people who strive in this life according to the physical laws but do not care about the permanent values will obtain the benefits of this life, but will have no share in the hereafter. But those who work according to both the physical laws and the permanent values, they will get sawab in this life as well as in the hereafter. This is the conduct of the mu'mineen. Wealth and sons are allurements of the life of this world. But the things that endure, good deeds, are best in the sight of your Rabb as rewards, and best to link hope with this. 18:46. See also 19:76, 28, 80. This is why it is said that the sawab gained from Allah is the best. 28:80. All types of sawab are indeed from Allah only, i.e., it is the results of our deeds according to the divine laws. But according to Quranic teaching, obtaining sawab from Allah means such a sawab which adorns a man's life in this world as well as in the hereafter. This is why it is said that Allah gives the best sawab and He is the best to conclude matters. 1844. This type of sawab is obtained through migration, endeavors and striving to establish a system based on the permanent values. 3. 194. This means that in the clash between evil and truth, even if this leads to war, one has to remain firm. 3. 146 to 147. As a consequence of this, in this world a heavenly society is established and, in the hereafter, a never-ending paradise. In Surah Kahf it is stated, "For them will be gardens of eternity, beneath them rivers will flow. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and they will wear green garments of fine silk and heavy brocade. They will recline therein on raised thrones. How good the recompense! How beautiful a couch to recline on." 1831. From this explanation it is clear that whatever material benefits you get in this life, sawab al-dunya, you can share these with others. But regarding the effects on yourself of the results of your righteous deeds, sawab al-akhirat, there is no question of transferring these to another. Therefore, the prevalent belief, or tradition, in some religions, that by reciting something or by celebrating saints' days, the resulting perceived sawab can be sent to the dead, this concept is against the Quran. With whatever state of his self the deceased exits this life, no one can alter this in any way whatsoever, either in this life or after death. Whatever the deceased achieves will be entirely the results of his own deeds. Those remaining behind can do nothing for him. So much so that even a good prayer for him is only a manifestation of our own good desires for him, which every moment should have for every other moment. As a result of this, those who pray gain a psychological sawab, but this sawab does not reach the deceased. Though if we express our good wishes, then by this we can gain psychological strength. In the case of the deceased, there is no question of any gain from this. The reality is that the deceased have no link with this world. This will be dealt with later. 11.1 Najat, salvation. Another belief along with sawab is najat, salvation. If we ask any follower of religions as to why he observes religious beliefs, endures so many hardships, tolerates so many constraints, and why he makes his life so trying with all these difficult meditations, his answer will be the same as all the others, that the point of it all is to somehow obtain najat, salvation. Terms like najat, mukti, or nirvan are all synonyms for salvation. The common thread running through this is the assumption that man is caught in some kind of trouble in this life, and to get out of this trouble is the aim of his life. This is the reason he makes religious efforts to achieve salvation. In this regard, 1. The Christian doctrine is that every child is born with a burden of sin from their first parents, Adam and Eve, and the purpose of his life is to somehow get rid of the consequence of this original sin and achieve salvation. He has no recourse to do this other than to believe in Jesus Christ as a Savior. 2. As per the Hindu doctrine, every human being is born as a punishment resulting from the consequences of sins committed in the previous life. To get mukti from the burdens of these sins is the purpose of his life, and he can only get it through the hardships prescribed by the religion. 3. The doctrine of Buddhism, and with this Jainism, is that man comes into this life riveted tightly in the chains of life's desires and wishes, until the time that he gives up these desires to such a level that even the passing thought of a desire does not arise in his mind, he cannot attain nirvana, complete peace. Till that time he cannot achieve nirvana, which will be achieved through complete obliteration of his self. This is the purpose of religious hardships. 4. According to Vedant, Hindu philosophy or mysticism, the view is that the human soul, Atma, is part of the soul of God, Paramatma. This soul has become separated from God's soul and as a consequence is caught up in the material quagmire of life. Getting out of this quagmire and reuniting with its origin is the purpose of its life, and this is not possible without undergoing the hardships of religion. This same concept of Vedant has been borrowed by mysticism. All their religious hardships are aimed at getting the human soul back to join with the soul of God, which is called Wasil bil Haq. This is the purpose of human life according to the world religions, i.e., that once man comes to earth, whichever trouble he is caught in, he needs to try and achieve freedom from this. The Ala Tariqah, followers of mysticism, in religious Islam, believe exactly the same. But Ala Shariat, followers of Islam as a religion, say that man's self is stained by whatever sins he commits in this life. Therefore he will have to suffer the punishment of hell. To get salvation from this punishment is the purpose of their religion. The Quran has totally rejected this fundamental view of religion by declaring that every human child is born with a clean slate. He is endowed with some potentials from nature, and if he makes an effort to develop these potentials in a proper way, then he turns his worldly life into prosperity and success, and as a consequence after death he attains the ability to reach a higher level of life from the present level. The one who does not do this, his potentials remain buried and he fails to attain further evolutionary stages of life. For the development of these potentials, it is necessary that man subjugates the forces of nature and utilizes these according to the divine values. From this you saw that according to the Quran, the purpose of human life is to achieve some things in order to make the present life more balanced and successful, and then take this to a higher level. It is not to be rid of some suffering or misfortune in which man is imprisoned from birth. This is the reason that the Quran has called human efforts and endeavors as achievements and not salvation. Further details are covered later.